Hi guys, we're back in the sewing cave continuing with sewing Burda 10-20-20. Hoping to actually get it done. I don't know, I'm hoping to get it done within 3 days because got a lot of stuff going on. But here we go. We've done this. So what I'm going to do is I want to do all of the sewing of the pleats down in one go. So I'm going to go ahead and work on the bodice front as well, in order to get those pleats pinned out so that I'll do all of it in one go. So we'll pick it up from there. In order to do the front pattern pieces, right, this is the section that has the chevron and this is the side front. So we're going to have to sew up the seam first before we pin out the pleats. And because I don't want to finish this seam in one go, as in to overlock it, I'm actually going to overlock the edges of these seams so that I'll be able to press it open. Yeah, so this is the importance of the seam numbers when you're tracing out, especially if you're doing a more complicated pattern that you are not too confident with. You can use this to remind you which pieces you're supposed to be sewing together. Okay, so here we go. This is the side front and that's the front. And we're just going to sew down that seam. I've already overlocked them. Okay. So there we have. That's the front bit that's going to go underneath the armhole. Yeah, and now we're going to do the pleats. I'm not pressing this open right now because I don't want to risk losing my marks, because this is an erasable highlighter. I will press them at the same time that I press the pleats. Okay, so this is what the pleats are going to look like. So if you remember from last time, this is the stitching line, and then the second line is the folding line, stitching line, folding line, stitching line, and folding line. And so that's what that will look like. So if we unfold it, stitch line, fold line, and you're folding it this way so that you're going to get that chevron away from where that button placket is going to go. So that's where the button placket will go, over there. And you can see that this is just going to be hitting seam number 2. How I do it, right? Armhole, seam number 2. This is a fold line. Yeah, because remember, it goes like stitching from the neckline: stitch, fold, stitch, fold, stitch, fold. So I'm going to start out here because I'm going to use my iron. And I'm just going to press along that edge there. Okay, so now I've got the crease here for the first fold one, and I'm now going to do this one as well. So I'm doing it a little bit differently for the front. So now I'm going to fold and press this, and I'll fold and I'll press this, and then I'll pin in one go. Okay, so now I've got the 3 pleat lines folded in. I am just going to now pin the stitching lines, getting ready for stitching. Okay, now that I have to pin out this final this final stitching line, I'm actually going to press the seam open, because there's no danger of me actually removing this line over there, because that's the most important one. This is the line that I was worried about losing if I tried to press this open. So now I'm going to go right ahead and press it open so that I can pin out my stitching line. Okay, so that's been pressed now, and I'm going to go right ahead and pin it. That's what it looks like now. Those beautiful chevrons. This is where the button placket is going to go. I'm going to do the second bodice pattern piece so that when I sit down at the machine to do all of the pleating, stitching, I just get it done all in one go. So here we go. Fronts are ready, as is the back. It's now time for me to just sit and have a sewing marathon, stitching along all of those stitching lines. Yay! I'm just showing you what to do next now, but you would then be taking this basting out, and there you go. Beautiful stitching. Okay, allons-y. Stitching has been done. We're just going to give the pleats a final press with loads and loads of steam, and using the clapper on it just to get that really sharp definition. So plenty of steam. I'm going to actually increase my steam setting. Let's go. This is what it looks like, having been steamed. I'm going to do the other side and then we'll do the fronts. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at that! Got the pleats. Okay, I've basted by hand so that they won't come apart there. And you can see that that's the seam allowance for attaching the sleeve along the armhole. These are the front pattern pieces, basted, ready for tomorrow. Hi! That seems like a good point to stop right now. Well, actually, I have no choice. My time in the sewing cave is up, so I have to go and continue with homeschooling the kids. Their lunch break is over, as is my husband's. He was looking after the kids during the lunch break so that I could get some of the sewing done. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next time, picking up from where we left off, finishing off the bodice, and hopefully working on some sleeves. Until I see you next time, guys, happy sewing. Bye.